Okay, with the winning screenwriters Dana and Mehdi, Reefer Madness is the crime drama kind of based on a true story, right? About the kind of the narcotics or DEA back in the 1930s. Black person gets promoted. Of course, they're kind of using him to kind of take down his own people, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. So 1930s New Orleans. So keep in mind it's the Great Depression. Obviously, a very hard time for a lot of Americans and people around the world. So we're following Gary O'Neill. He's a struggling street cop with a bit of a dark past with a gambling addiction. This job is an opportunity to turn his whole life around and become the first Black federal agent in the Bureau of Narcotics. But the new status comes at a price of enforcing laws that persecute his own community. So it's like, what if the job that could redeem you is actually helping build a system that will destroy your community? Or more simply put, what if the biggest career opportunity meant betraying your own love?
Yeah. And where did you guys come? Where did you guys come up with this idea to work on this script?
Yeah, so it
Mehdi?
came down to one one fateful day actually, where Dana and I had met, and Dana said, "Hey, listen, I have this interesting niche, never been done kind of idea that we should talk about." We've had worked together on different things in the past, having obviously grown up together, been in the arts together throughout high school. So this was after high school when had moved on to our college days. Basically, we this idea was born where we needed to cover this sort of part of a history that we found was lost. It wasn't really something that was kind of in the mainstream that had seemed to have a lot of meat to it. So we kind of had that realization that like this is a story that's got to be told, and that was the beginning of this journey.
Yeah, and on my end, I'll just add that I was just curious as to why it became legal or illegal in the first place. It was becoming legal in Canada, where we're from. So there was this a lot of conversation around it, a lot of positive and negatives surrounding the drug. But it's not just a drug; it's also being used in a medical context in a way that's been legitimized over time. So as we've been exploring the nature of the plant, we kept on going further into the past. And Harry Anslinger in particular, who serves as one of the main antagonists, especially for the larger scope of the series, he's a very prominent American figure. I mean, he held a federal position for 32 years as the commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, and almost nobody knows about him. I mean, obviously Canadians probably wouldn't know, but even Americans, a lot of Americans we've spoken to. So it's just interesting being able to explore a chapter of American history that not only applies to America, but he had a lot of influence in the United Nations after World War II and influenced drug policy across the world. So his relevance spans across multiple nations, especially those who have a relationship with the U.S.
Yeah, it is interesting. And so you guys worked together on a screenplay before this one, a previous one?
So this was our first actual screenplay, but it was born from a theater piece that we had co-wrote, where it was about a 60-minute play that we did the first time. It moved on to a 90-minute play, and from there it was evolved into the TV pilot that we now have.
And so you have the TV pilot. So you guys have been working a lot together, I guess, since then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys collaborate like as writers? Do you kind of like pass ideas to each other and you write a script, a scene, or what's your process?
Well, it's
Yeah.
evolved over time. I would say Mehdi definitely had the writer talent. I was coming from more of a acting background. And so I just had the creative impulses that were coming from the theater school I was going to. They made us do creative writing classes essentially, and I didn't had no intention of writing originally. It's funny how life and certain classes that you wouldn't expect to take can lead you in different paths that you wouldn't expect to go down. So all that to say, as we were essentially forced to write, I was thinking, hey, what's on my mind the most? And that same question about why did cannabis become illegal started coming up in my mind. And then eventually I discovered the 1936 propaganda film called Reefer Madness. And essentially, it's seen as a joke today. It's kind of like weird sort of pulp like cult like film people laugh at. But back then, when it came out, it was serious. So serious, in fact, that a year later, you had the first form of federal prohibition for marijuana in the States. So it was very impactful. And there was not only that movie, but a ton of other films that I started to discover, and so much propaganda. So for myself, I started realizing there's a lot of meat, a lot of like creative juice we could work with here. But I didn't necessarily have the writing chops to really hone it down. And so I approached Mehdi, and he really helped guide that writing process. But over the years, I've been developing my own screenwriting skills as well. And now we're able to really talk shop and specifics. We like to pass the baton, as you say, here and there. I'll do a certain scene, he'll do another scene. We'll come together and read it all together. And shout out to Adrian Calusi, who's helped us, as well as Gregory Hertel. Gregory Hertel is a former drama teacher of ours, and Adrian Calusi, a TV writer from Canada, Toronto here. So yeah, we've gotten some help as well in terms of like honing down our process to be essentially doing different parts on our own time, coming together and just repeating that over and over until we got a finished script.
That's amazing. And so it's so funny because I know Adrian. That's a small world.
Oh,
Yeah, from way back over 20 years. 20 years. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I've known him like over 20 years ago. So
Yeah,
I'm glad he's
he,
doing well.
yeah, he's a great guy. He saw us trying to pitch the Reefer Madness to different networks that called Content Canada at the time, around TIFF time.
Yeah,
He respected our hustle, and he was willing to help us out, and he helped us learn more particulars around transitioning from playwriting to TV writing, which was incredibly
yeah,
helpful.
mm,
which is a huge thing. It's like,
Yeah,
show, don't tell, I guess, right? So in its general sense, right? You want to say less and show more, I guess, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So especially in this kind of period piece. So you guys did a lot of research. So that is so interesting about the propaganda, right? Like these, like, because it's after the prohibition. So they're like they try to like ban alcohol, but then I guess they move to drugs, right? Which is like studies have shown that marijuana is a lot safer than booze, I guess, right? So, but
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, Mehdi.
I was going to say the curious thing to remember is, well, the DEA nowadays is a Justice Department agency. The
yeah,
FBN, sort of the precursor to the DEA, that was a Treasury Department agency.
mm,
So the primary goal was, financially based as opposed to enforcement based, right?
yeah,
So during the times of prohibition, alcohol prohibition, those are the times where you'd seize inventory, right, to be able to then, get rid of it and make a profit off of it eventually. So in this case, since it's legal again to sell alcohol, this is a new thing that you can now seize and then make a profit on. So it's the idea is to be able to find new ways to generate, cash flow, as this is a struggling time for the state, right? I just wanted to throw in that tidbit that this is also very financially motivated.
Oh, you're talking conspiracy theories here. Is that been
Hey, there's
proven?
it's not. I mean, good point. But the idea again is like it's like what purpose is this department serving, right?
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, again, it goes up the tree to the financial side. It's like it's clear as day for me.
yeah,
Yeah, and then I'll add on to that in terms of the propaganda. It's just interesting seeing that form of propaganda uh, and it evolving during that time leading up to, of course, today, where now we have all kinds of media forms where messages from the government can come out. And I won't comment too much on maybe current things, alien DACA, but things like that. Interesting seeing the way that uh, film and artwork could be used in a means of like capturing attention and having a certain agenda behind it. Uh, Having entertainment as the layer in front, but having so much more things going on behind the scenes. So a part of our intention is to show that behind the scenes, like why did they make that film? How did they make that film in the context of a federal agent who is essentially going into the street and now having to deal with the propaganda uh, directly influencing the vigilantism and like the reporting and the snitching from other community members because they're feeling this national panic, and it's getting fueled more and more and more. So it directly affects the investigations of Gary O'Neill. We're looking to really ground the propaganda in the way it affects his day-to-day underground investigation.
Yeah, so I think you guys are onto something because you're kind of using this kind of micro, like this individual story, which is interesting in itself. But then you got all these kind of like, big themes happening, right? Like about like structures and about how the machine works, I guess, right?
Yeah, and also like we take inspiration from Narcos Mexico or the Narcos series in general. Um, Boardwalk Empire is a huge inspiration, of course, even though it dealt more with alcohol prohibition, of course. Um, there's certain series that we take inspiration from that are able to do both that personal and that like meta narrative, that grand element at the same time. We've done quite a bit of research. Thankfully, we've gotten two grants from the Ontario Arts Council, our province, to do research. So it's really helped us like get a whole body of knowledge that could help us carry this through as a whole series, not just as like a one-off film. And we've also definitely taken the time to visit New Orleans in particular to like embed ourselves in the culture there. And one of the things I'll mention that was very interesting was so Mehdi and I are driving, and we see a billboard uh, that like THC gummies, and it had like an alien on it. And meanwhile, you have men, and I'm sure some women as well, but you have people in prison for decades for
Yeah,
the exact same thing they're advertising on the
yeah.
billboard.
Well, look
And
at gambling now, right? The gambling's the same analogy,
Yeah.
right? Like every sporting event, they have 50,000 gambling ads, right? Because it's legal. But then 10 years ago, if you gambled on, you would go to, you get fined or go to prison, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's the same analogy. It's like it's they just whatever whatever is decided that's legal or illegal, right? So,
yeah, so we feel that sense of urgency to really get the project going as soon as possible. I feel like the recent rescheduling of marijuana in the states um, has definitely set a tone that could lead to full legalization in the future. But
100%, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it's just interesting, like someone, like a country that has had such a back and forth relationship with it, like finally acknowledging the medicinal element on a federal level. That's a huge milestone for sure. So it's just we're seeing it inevitably happening, but the series could really align with the federal legalization that is
yeah.
inbound, right?
Let's be fair too. Like the people in prison, there's a racial undertone as well, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
It's
if we're
undeniable.
honest, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and not just in the states. Like we can argue, we're both Canadian. We're all Canadian. It's in Canada as well. It's not happy glory in Canada as well.
Yeah, I'd say thankfully I've done some work with Cannabis Amnesty and have learned like they're an organization that is looking to do amnesty, and so they have accomplished some forms of expulsion of records for those who have possession specifically. But
Yeah,
anything beyond that, it's good luck, and I'm not entirely sure how it realistically rolled out compared to what was said. But all that to say that, I know there are certain states as well, like California and Colorado, that had a little bit more activity in trying to right the wrongs there. But there's still many, many places in which it's obviously just totally a status-driven thing, not really a law-driven thing in terms of what the consequences are
yeah,
around your charges.
yeah.
So we're definitely we feel compelled to really uh, spell that out. And ultimately, you don't not to be preachy about it either. Like we really want to respect the actual narrative and the drama and seeing where the characters lead us. Because we obviously have a vision for the arc of O'Neill, but we definitely want to keep in mind, yeah, it's like ultimately this is a story, and
Yeah.
this is something that I would really like all the research to come in, but that's all secondary to just making sure this narrative is something that's timeless, something that could apply to other forms of propaganda, other forms of
Yeah.
comeback stories, other forms of investigation stories, and crime dramas. So that's very much so front of our minds as we're developing the project.
Oh wow! So you guys are doing now. You guys are setting out the festivals, trying to get feedback, kind of trying to get some attention, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
But you
Yeah,
want
get the work out there in as many different eyes as possible, right?
do you want to make the film yourselves? Like, what's the goal? Do you want to sell it to a company? What's the plan?
Good
Yeah,
question. Yeah.
yeah. I'd say like essentially selling the pilot and overall series and working on it. As far as the being able to film ourselves, obviously very difficult as it's a period piece. Uh, but that said, we were open to like doing proof of concepts and things like that if things align right. What we're looking to do eventually, of course, once we figure out the right timings, of course, do things like table reads, more things like that to just get a little bit more of a sense of how people are feeling it when we're actually uh, not only having actors read it, but maybe even having like a live audience around reading. So those things we're considering for sure, but for now, it's mainly just focused on putting the script out there, seeing how people respond, getting the feedback. Some of the feedback we got from festival has been great. Just trying to narrow down some of our D plot with respects to O'Neill and his family, because he's looking to redeem himself with his daughter in particular. So looking how we can cut that down and narrow the focus of the pilot and still leave room for that for later is something that we did take into account, and we're already adjusting that right now. So there's some great feedback we've got from your festival, thankfully.
Great. So you got things up in the air. Then you guys got a lot of options to choose, but you're just keeping. That's great. You got some grant money, and you're able to like do all this research, and I'm sure it's a big education for you.
Absolutely. And we've always looked at the script as, a living document, right? It's never going to be in its final form. It's never going to be sort of, okay, this is it and never again. We're always going to kind of go back to make different changes and updates because, again, it's something that's, constantly changing for us. So, we're going to put that into the work as well.
Mm. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time, and it sounds like it's a great script, and it seems like it got well reviewed at our festival, and so hope you enjoyed the experience so far. And
So
let's talk
before you
again.
go, what do you recommend to watch, or what do you recommend to go see nowadays?
Sorry, what do I
What
recommend?
to watch or look at? What kind of TV show or movie? What's top of your mind right now?
It's a good question. I'm actually going back and watching like old stuff. Maybe like a lot of people are.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
I've been watching the West Wing actually.
Oh,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know why. Just like it's because it was kind of a simple time.
Makes
but
sense. Yeah, I can see that.
but it's well written too, right? So,
Mhm.
but I'm thinking about like I haven't seen it in like maybe 10 years. I'm thinking about going back and watching Better Call Saul again. I don't know if you
Mhm.
guys watched
Oh, I
that
love
series.
it.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
love that series.
Yeah.
Great series.
So I'm like
Definitely new
revisiting.
inspiration.
I'm doing the revisiting thing, and it's probably because I'm not really seeing anything that I want to watch.
Fair enough.
You guys, what are you guys watching?
I'm kind of with you there. I like watching a lot of older stuff too. Like I'm a big Sopranos fan, so I'm always,
I've
pulling up
seen
old
that like 10
episodes.
times over. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
I'm
can't get tired
Italian,
of it.
so it's like it's really in
Yeah,
my
your
it's
wheelhouse.
realistic. I guess I could let's put
Right,
it that way. Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
right.
everyone's seen Sinners, and that's definitely something that boosted our momentum a little bit, given like the alignment of the era and time and the feel for it. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I'd say a sleeper that's not really a sleeper, but among a lot of people I've talked to, they haven't watched it. I'd say Andor, because I just never thought Star Wars could be so serious. And so I'd say Andor is definitely a really
Yeah, I wouldn't say
interesting take.
Star Wars is a sleeper. Any Star Wars franchise is a
Yeah,
sleeper.
yeah, no, but for whatever reason, I'm saying a lot of people I've talked to just have not watched Andor. They know of
Yeah,
Star Wars, but
Yeah,
they've watched Mandalorian, but like Andor, I'd say like definitely
gotcha.
it's won some awards and stuff, but I'd say like that really impressed me in a way that I did not expect, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I thought Sinners was a fantastic film. I thought it was really. It probably like if I was picking, if I was a Oscar voter, I probably would have picked that for the best picture. So I just thought it was a fantastic. Like he's just really on top of his game, right? Kugler,
Yeah,
like yeah,
yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he'll always watch his films no matter what. So yeah.
All right. Well, I got to check out West Wing, and thank you for your time, Matt.
Yeah, if you have, yeah, well, it's like Aaron Sorkin, right? He like wrote like the first 4 years, he wrote like every episode, and it's really like it's just nice, like nice pace, nice diet. Like it's just like about it's about the machine, right? The United States, it's
Mm.
not perfect, right? So, but now you're going to see tons of Trump movies, I guess, in the next 5 years, right?
I
So
know. I know. It's inevitable.
yeah,
Yeah,
different
apparently
versions of
Homelander from The
yeah,
Boys is Trump as well. Like a lot of people like making that connection.
yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Even with Idiocracy coming to life with the UFC White House.
That's right.
There's,
Yeah, what's that all about? Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of like life imitating art coming out.
Trump's birthday bash.
I'm a big sports guy, right? And I never got into UFC. I never
Oh
understood
no,
it, but maybe I should. I don't know. But
it's a good
Oh,
time.
watch this.
Highly
You gotta
recommend.
watch this. Yeah.
you guys watch it?
Yeah, yeah, big fan.
Yeah, we do. But it's as far as like this White House card, definitely a lot of people who don't watch UFC are going to be checking it out. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
still
gonna. It's a free advertisement for the company, right? So
Right.
it's crazy. Yeah.
yeah. So all that said, life is having some interesting turns as of late. So hopefully one of those turns is eventually making Reefer Madness, and hopefully one day you'll see it on screen. We appreciate the time, Matt, and anything going on your end that you don't want to let us know about, always feel free to reach out.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys
Awesome.
soon.
Cheers. Have a good
Yeah.
night.